Hello, and welcome to SOUICHI Presents Sonic Dreams Collection. This is a pretty unusual jump in format, but it's actually something that I've been considering for a little while. I've got a pretty decent half a draft of normal screenshots plus text style review, but it just couldn't capture all of the this. It wasn't proving feasible to truly capture the experience of Sonic Dreams Collection with text and still images alone. And because of this, and because I know what it is I need to tell you about this game, this terrifying game, that I feel confident in getting this review to you in this format. Now, as you can see here, this is the Arcane Kids home website, which is honestly artful in its demented late 1990s, early 2000 aesthetic. The cluttered JPEG artifacted background. This new is just over these words. Most of the site is probably oh my god, no, it's worse than I could have imagined. It's a text field with photos and hyperlinks, which is amazing. Notice here the spinning GIF, one of the greatest hallmarks of what is basically my childhood. Is this is a web circle. Somehow these people have recreated a web circle. But I won't spend too much time here because what's important is Sonic. Now, as I mentioned before, I actually do have a very sincere love and appreciation of the Sonic franchise. I've never actually played it, but somewhere along the way I just picked up a great respect for its enthusiasm. There's so much love in the Sonic franchise. And I mean, you could consider this to be a form of love, also. Sorry, I've never noticed the scrolling text field up here, and it threw me completely off my game of trying to be deeply sincere about loving Sonic and still being conflicted that the medium that this amazingly terrible game takes, this amazingly horrifying terrible game takes, is kind of mocking a lot of that sincerity and love. But I'm going to forge ahead I'm going to forge a hedgehog. I'm going to forge ahead all the same. Now notice these links up here. Oh, okay, so this is just outright mockery now. That's great. I was trying to be, oh, well, I really love the Sonic fandom, but I think maybe this game can push past its thing of making fun of the fandom. Or it could be doing this. Oh, God. There's gonna be a big black, but you know what? Let's not. What if we didn't go to wherever that link was and just tried to get back to the thesis of this video? Okay. This is the posit of the game. This is its concept. The hackers leak the kind of schoolyard rumor feeling here. It's the uncle who worked at Nintendo, isn't it? If you do a really convoluted, difficult series of events, you can play the locked Luigi in Nintendo 64. You can find Mew under the truck. This is the gold mine. This is someone acquires a Sega Dreamcast developer's kit. And honestly, it's not that completely far-fetched, is it? We do have a lot of strange discoveries made in video games now by people who are able to go into the game a little bit deeper and move the camera or examine the character models and find amazing, strange things. And whether or not they're accidents, whether they're secrets, whether it's just leftover code, it's always fascinating and haunting to find. And this, I think, does an amazing job in both Look at that warp there. Sorry, that just always... What? I don't even know how to deliberately make something look that janky. Not over here, too. It's melting. The page is melting. You're not looking at this and thinking, these people are genuinely trying to fool me. These people are genuinely trying to make me think this is the real deal. This is absolutely, seriously a lost Sega prototype. It's a joke. It is a goof, as they say. Notice that. Oh, by the way, this is just one giant image. It's just big ol' image. But you still go into it now not skeptically. You become skeptical when something tries to really prove to you that it's really for real, and I find this problem to be kind of excruciating when you look at a lot of horror media. There's this fixation with the idea that the immersion will be at its finest if you think this is for real. The problem is, your audience is not children. Most people do not go, oh my god, the rake is really out there and he's gonna bite my toes. We know it's a video that you put online. We know that this is an artifice. To what degree you enjoy that artifice, or I can't really say whether or not that adds anything new to the table for you personally. For me, I find that when something is really trying to pretend that this is for real, my skepticism flares up. I'm going into this product not with an open heart, not with just going to go have fun. I'm looking, ooh, this isn't real, I'm gonna poke it apart. And that's not a fun way to go into things. Your audience is so much more willing to give you a suspension of disbelief than I think creators are willing to believe. No audience is usually going into something already hostile to absorbing this experience. Doing something like this that kind of catches people a little bit off guard, that is obviously funny, honestly, means that people are just going into this not entirely sure what to expect, but ready to enjoy whatever it is. I think that's much more beneficial to what I honestly believe is a terrifying experience than anything else could be. Now, as you can see here, this is the file that you receive when you get Sonic Dreams Collection. And for right now, we're going to ignore this. Don't worry about this. First, we're going to check the readme.txt, which is more or less just the same thing you can find on the original page. I think this might have been included both to really hammer in that shady download from 2005 kind of feeling, and also so that if you did somehow get this file without being from the original source, you could still see what the concept is. You'd still see a dissed Sonic fans globally. I don't think, no. Maybe that was mean. Just dissed. Somehow that's... I'm gonna cut that out, let me tell you that. But this is Sonic Dreams Collection. Let's dream. So just a few things real quick. First of all, the Sonic Dreams Collection logo is kind of hypnotic. That giant wall of text you saw really makes you think more of an OS boot than it does a game loading up in this day and age. In it are the lyrics to a Sonic Adventure song from a Pumpkin Hills level, is what I believe my research showed me. I'll include a link to this song in the review. And I've never been able to capture that brief winky face emoji that you can see there at the end in a screenshot. It goes by in about 0.5 seconds. So as you obviously notice, when you up the resolution size of the window, the music actually slows and distorts. You'll find more and more of everything in this game is clickable. No reason, just squeaks, clickable. Let's go to the first section of the game. Now, you could, in theory, perform these different games in any order you actually wanted to. But the game makes sure that you follow a specific path, both because generally people will approach a list like this and go from top to bottom. That's just kind of the way we're wired to look at things. But there's also an orange gradient going down to white, as well as the chronological order of these games' original releases. So, of course, the natural step is to begin with Make My Sonic. Make My Sonic was MJ Studios' first prototype with Sega, a Sonic OC original character creator. MJ Studio was committed to fan self-expression. They believed that Sonic was versatile enough for every genre, even sci-fi. Originally, Make My Sonic was meant to create and upload avatars for use with every Dreamcast through SegaNet. Sadly, no future games supported this level of creativity. Version 3.2 added Twitter support. Now, MJ Studios is the first keyword you're going to want to remember here, as well as the phrase SegaNet. But you know, don't worry about it. Let's play. Your options right away are quit or let go. We're going to let go. It's Sonic. Hello, Sonic. Actually, it's Adoptable Metal Deidre, the Immortal Hedgehog. Now, this is definitely one of the areas of the game that seems mostly to be poking fun at those fans who create original characters, and I really detest that. It's one of my least favorite aspects of this game, and life in general. Let's give him the old razzle-dazzle there, Sonic. That's good. But it's not as bad as it could be. Mostly what it is it's harmless and, again, kind of sets you for this theme, this very deliberately janky strangeness. The only part of him you can't grab here is the torso. Let's get a nice T-pose. There we go. T-pose. T-pose. You know you want to. The janky... One of his legs is not actually the correct size for the floor. Now, you can, quote-unquote, pick a name here. So that's the best name ever, and I was going to randomly cycle through and show you how these Sonic names work. You know, Rose, Quartz, Hedgehog, or something, anime reference from the 90s, something, joke about Mpreg. But no, this is the last god, the Hedgie, and I love him, and he's my child now, so let's just continue. Every option in this character creator is not only baffling and randomized, but distressing. Look deeply into the last god, the Hedgie's eyes. That did not fix his leg problem. Tiny legs. He can fly now. You're free. Let's just get... Oh, yeah, okay, you know what? Let's get that leg back under... Let's get that leg back under... Okay. Leg's gonna stay out. Leg's gonna stay out. It's a perspective trick now. Arms are also bad. Arms, oh. Arms. That's... Matches. He's just a dynamic poster. That's all that's going on here, and... So again, this basically accomplishes, I feel, the same thing as the original website does. It helps you realize that this is a goof, this is a thing, and now you have a little bit of... You're forming expectations for what's going to happen next. And your expectations are... jank is probably the word to use here. Oh boy. Let's... Hey, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now this is Vaporwave, and that is in fact my jams. I do expect fan art of The Last God the Hedgie. I don't, actually, but that would be basically amazing. Now, the last important feature here that some users don't go to right away is the photo booth. This appears to be... Oh, he doesn't look good. No. Basically, the idea is that this is where you create your avatar, right? So you can take photos of them doing... Yeah, that's a good one. You can actually tweet your photo. This will show up, honest to gosh, on my Twitter feed. I'm gonna let that be for right now. Maybe later we'll make a Twitter memory, you and I. But here we once again see SegaNet. And SegaNet gives us a mild aneurysm for about 0.5 seconds there. One more time. No adapter detected. We're out of luck. Let's say goodbye to The Last God the Hedgie. Oh, that's not goodbye. Let's put your arm back down. There we go. Goodbye, child. That's the first part of the game. Now, naturally, you would go to the next year in the selection to find Eggman Origin. And I'm gonna go quiet for a minute here so you can hear this. Did you get that? We are honored to have found Sonic's favorite story. It must be an amazing tale. Almost nothing is known about Eggman Origins. There's no surviving documentation. From digging through the code, we can tell it was an MMORPG, but few have ever seen past the title screen. Version 0.1, open SegaNet ports. Oh, who knows? Maybe they fixed it now. It says here they opened the SegaNet ports. Let's go ahead and see if we can really explore this beautiful memory. You and I. What I like here is that this egg makes it look like the buttons are slightly off-center. And who's that? Maybe it's a Cheo. Chow. Chaos? So... let's move on. We're not going to talk about that. Not yet. So, the natural progression goes, without being able to get into Eggman Origins, you move on to Sonic Movie Maker. Now, there are a few people I've seen, mostly in Let's Plays, who actually take the time to figure out the Eggman Origin puzzle completely ahead of time right here. But we're going to go through this the way that someone would play this. That means Sonic Movie Maker. I'm actually going to leave us here for a minute and take a break in recording, but let's leave you with this promising vista. Sonic Movie Maker was many years ahead of its time, technically speaking. MJ Studio envisioned a movie-making program for players to explore and share their desires with the rest of the world. Internal notes suggest that Sega executives pulled the plug after learning about some of Sonic Movie Maker's darker subplots. Version 1.1, patch to save movie files to your computer. Version 1.2, added Twitter video upload support. I'll be right back, because as always, Souichi will return.